Personality disorders. A little history about personality disorders. So the first system of personality types in the Greek-Roman world was presented in a book called The Characters by a Greek philosopher whose name I cannot pronounce. His book contained 30 descriptions that are all organized along the same structure. The character type is named first, then briefly defined in one short sentence, and finally illustrated by a list of about 10 examples showing how the person will typically react in different life situations. Example, in chapter 18, the suspicious man. It's comparable to today's paranoid personality and defined by the sentence, he believes that everyone is fraudulent. Further described by patterns such as the suspicious man is the sort of person who sends a servant to the market and then sends another to watch him to find out the price he pays. Some other historic facts goes back to ancient Greek as they describe their god Achilles as antisocial. The term character, temperament, and personality were also defined already by 18th century. German physician Grant Gall and his associate coined the term phrenology. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, leading them to the hypothesis that personality traits have they basis in the cerebral cortex where they could be localized with precision. Then Philippe Pinel was the first author to include a personality disorder in psychiatric nosology. Personality theories have a long history and helps put DSM classification we use today of personality disorders in perspective. I put down history of DSM progression over the 50 years. So, what is personality disorder? Personality disorder is an enduring pattern of inner experiences and behavior that deviates markedly from the expectations of individual culture. Individual personality mediates environmental, cognitive, emotional, spiritual, physical, and interpersonal events. So when disturbed, it can negatively affect the individual's way of understanding the self and virtually all interactions in the world in which he or she lives. Personality disorders has an onset in adolescence and early adulthood. It cannot be diagnosed before the age of 18. It is pervasive and inflexible, and it is stable over time. Personality disorder often causes significant distress, distrust, and impairment of social functioning. According to DSM-5, judgments about personality functioning must consider the individual's ethnic, cultural, and social background, and should not be confused with problems associated with acculturation from immigration or with the expression of habits, customs, or religious and political values professed by the individual's culture of origin. Personality disorders such as antisocial, schizoid, avoidant personality disorders are diagnosed more frequently in males, while borderline dependent histrionic personality disorders are diagnosed more frequently in women. It is essential for clinicians not to overdiagnose or underdiagnose certain personality disorders in females or in males because of social stereotypes about typical gender roles and behaviors. Personality disorders are divided in three clusters. Cluster A consists of paranoid, schizoid, schizotypal personality disorder. The behavior is described odd, bizarre, and eccentric. The cluster B includes antisocial, borderline, histrionic, and narcissistic personality disorders. The behavior described as dramatic and erratic. Cluster C presents avoidant, dependent, and obsessive-compulsive personality disorders, and behaviors are described as anxious and fearful. Here's a slide with the prevalence for each cluster and each personality disorder from the cluster A. I want to jump in right into cluster A of personality disorders, which include paranoid, schizoid, and schizotypal personality disorders. Paranoid personality disorder, PPD, is characterized by a pattern of distrust and suspiciousness of others, whose motives and intentions are perceived as malicious. These perceptions begin in early adulthood and are presented in a number of situations. Those with PPD assume the ill intent of others and believe that others might exploit, harm, or deceive them. To provide an example of paranoid personality disorder, I wanted to show a clip. I apologize if it's loading too long. There's a link exists between a genetic contribution to paranoid traits, as well as a genetic link between paranoid personality disorder and schizophrenia. According to psychosocial theories, paranoid personality disorder projects negative internal emotions and parental modeling. According to cognitive therapists, paranoid personality disorder is a result of combination of low self-confidence and esteem and underlying beliefs that other people are malicious. Due to lack of trust, treating paranoid personality disorder can be challenging. If individual is receptive to intervention, uh, things that could be helpful is that psychotherapy in addition to antidepressants, antipsychotics, and anti-anxiety medications. Jumping to schizoid personality disorder. SPD is characterized by detachment from social contact and its limited range of emotional expression in settings that require interpersonal exchange. Individuals with SPD do not seek or want to develop intimate relationships and do not seek romantic sexual relationships with others. They do not desire to be a part of social group and prefer to be alone. As example for schizoid personality disorder, I chose this movie clip.
I'm inviting you for breakfast.
I can't. I have to go to church.
Morning.
Marcy,
Did you have a nice weekend?
that new girl's kind of cute, huh?
You and Margo, what do you think?
Lars, you gotta see this. Not really in the mood for porn this morning. It's not porn. Okay, it is, but check it out, alright? Huh? You like? Solid. Like, she'd weigh 125 pounds, then she weighs 125 pounds. Customize everything. They got all these different heads and parts. You can design your own woman. And Lars. Lars. Yeah. Anatomically correct.
Wait, stop! Stop! We want you to come for dinner. Will you come? Sorry. Oh, sweetheart, sorry. Wait. Why not? No. Come on. Come on, Lars. Yeah.
I brought my work home, so I'll get in trouble.
Oh, didn't.
Yeah,
No,
that's my
what? No, come on, wait. Lars, stop. Come on, please.
I have other plans, and I can't.
Lars, there's salmon and cherry pie in there.
Please let me go.
There is an increased prevalence of schizoid personality disorder if the biological relatives of the individual have schizophrenia or schizotypal personality disorder. Researchers also believe that unloving, neglectful, and excessively perfectionist parenting could play a role. Twin studies with schizopersonality disorder characteristics, low sociability, and lack of warmth show that those traits are inherited. The treatment for schizopersonality disorder consists of psychotherapy, CBT, medications such as depression, mood stabilizers, as well as group counseling. Schizotypal personality disorder, STPD, is characterized by significant discomfort with social interaction and close personal relationship, and a lack of interest in developing enduring friendships. Additionally, the person with schizotypal personality disorder has cognitive misrepresentations and eccentric behaviors.
Wasn't that just magnificent? I was worried it was getting a little dodgy in the middle part, but then that finale. Wow! Good morning, Starshine. The Earth says hello. Dear guests, greetings. Welcome to the factory. I shake you warmly by the hand. My name is Willy Wonka.
Mr. Wonka, I'm Violet Beauregard. Emperor Result. It's very nice to meet you, sir.
I always thought a verruca was a type of wart you got on the bottom of your foot.
I love the chocolate.
I can see that. So do I. I never expected to have so much in common.
Then he will be made into strawberry-flavored, chocolate-coated fudge that'll be selling him by the pound all over the world.
No, I wouldn't allow it. The taste would be terrible. Can you imagine Augustus-flavored chocolate-coated glue? Ew. No one would buy it.
The causes to consider for schizotypal personality disorder is biological genetic factors, social factors, and environmental factors. Treatment would be medication, and according to Paul Markovitz, there are two groups of schizotypal individuals. Those appear to be most schizophrenic in their beliefs and behaviors. Those will be treated with low dose of antipsychotic medication. Individuals who are more obsessive compulsive in their beliefs and behaviors would be treated with antidepressant medication. Moving on to cluster B of personality disorders, which include borderline, antisocial, narcissistic, and histrionic personality disorders. Antisocial personality disorder, APD, is characterized by a history of disregarding others and violating others' rights, beginning in childhood and early adolescence and continuing into adulthood. Key elements of APD include deceit, manipulation of others, and failure to adhere to social norms.
Never start with the head. The victim gets all fuzzy. You can't feel the neck. See? You wanted me. Here I am. I wanted to see what you'd do. And you didn't disappoint. You let 5 people die. Then you let them take your place. Even to a guy like me, that's cold. Where's Tim? Those mob fools want you gone so they can get back to the way things were. But I know the truth. There's no going back. You've changed things. Forever. And why do you want to kill me? I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you? Go back to ripping off mob dealers? No, you are complete. Me, you're garbage. You kills for money. Don't talk like one of them. You're not. What would you like to be? To them, you're just a freak. Like me. They need you right now. When they don't, they'll cast you out. Like a leper. See, their morals, their code. It's a bad joke. Dropped as the first sign of trouble. They're only as good as the world allows them to be. I'll show you. When the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other. See, I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve.
The causes to consider are biological and genetic factors, environmental factors, as well as it's shown that antisocial personality disorder is associated with alcohol use disorders. Treatment would be psychotherapy, behavioral therapies, group counseling, and medications, as well as a long-term structured residential living or environment. Borderline personality disorder, BPD, is characterized as an instability of interpersonal relationships, self-image, and affect, and marked by impulsivity that begins by early adulthood and is present in a variety of contexts. It is diagnosed more frequently in females than males. It begins in early adulthood and manifests with symptoms of instability in interpersonal relationship, problems with self-use, and notable impulsivity.
I was changing her diaper, and I turned to get the powder, and while my back was turned, she rolled off the bed. She rolled off the bed and broke her leg. And the doctor put her in a body cast, but he also strapped her down.
And this has nothing to do.
You never told me this.
Carl had been planning this trip to Santa Monica. We had a commitment at Grant. So we took her with us. In the back seat, strapped to this board, 4,000 miles.
If you like, Mrs. Kaysen, we can discuss this further on the way out.
Just how long is my daughter going to be here?
With all due respect, Mr. Kaysen, psychiatry and economics are different. The length of Susanna's stay isn't fixed. It depends on her response to treatment.
For what? Depression? Look, it's almost Christmas. What are we supposed to say to the people back home who care about her?
You see, Melvin, what's going on here is my parents are having a little holiday cocktail Christmas party crisis.
Susanna.
What?
So what is this borderline business you mentioned on the phone?
Oh, look, I don't think that's useful to Susanna. I mean, not...
What borderline
you
business?
see, the mind
Borderline what?
is the...
Borderline between what and what? Melvin.
It's a condition, Susanna. And it's called borderline personality disorder.
Oh, God.
It's not uncommon, especially among young women.
What causes it?
We're really not sure.
Is it genetic?
Oh, Christ.
It is 5 times more common among those with a borderline parent.
I can't do this. I'm sorry, I can't do this.
Causes to consider for borderline personality disorder are biological factors, social, stressors, cognition, and also shows that depression is common in family history of individuals with borderline personality disorder. Treatments would consist of psychotherapy, CBT, medication, learning healthy habits, and partial hospitalization. Histrionic personality disorder, HPD, is characterized by excessive expression of conditions and attention-seeking behavior. This pattern begins in early adulthood and is present in various of contexts. Often persons diagnosed with HPD have a dramatic flare in their self-presentation to others. They are happy being the center of attention and become uneasy and feel unappreciated when they are not the focus of their environment.
Evil takes a human form in Regina George. Your typical selfish, backstabbing, slut-faced hoe bag, but it's more than that.
She's the queen bee, the star. Those other two are just her little workers.
Regina George.
Is he bothering you? Jason, why are you such a skis? So it's settled. So you can go shave your back now. Sit down. Why don't I know you? I mean, what? So you agree? What? You think you're really pretty? Whatever. I'm getting cheese fries. Get in, loser. We're going shopping.
We doll I never had. I'd never seen anybody so glamorous.
I know, right? Please stop talking. Okay. Still have to.
Girl world. Halloween is the one night a year when a girl can dress like a total slut and no other girls can say anything about it. The hardcore girls just wear lingerie and...
Hey.
Oh, no. Didn't anybody tell you?
Shut up. Such a good... I want to lose 3 pounds.
Singling Aaron in front of me on purpose.
Why are you so obsessed with me? That is the ugliest effing skirt I've ever seen. Love ya. And right now you're getting on my last nerve. Switch.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Jingle bells swinging, jingle bells ring. Snowing and blowing, a bushel of fun. Cats turning, jingle bell time. Dancing and prancing, jingle bells. Giddy up to your feet, jingle bell. Mix and mingle and jingle and beat. The jingle bell, that's the jingle bell rock.
Gretchen, stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen. Shut up. I can't go to Taco Bell. I'm on an all-carb diet. God, Karen, you're so stupid.
You guys need anything?
Do you know what everyone says about you? They say that you're a homeschooled jungle freak who's a less hot version of me. Yeah, so don't try to act so innocent. You can take that fake apology and shove it right up your hairy...
The causes to consider are genetic factors, developmental, biosocial, and socio-cultural causes, neurochemical and physiological causes, as well as individual variables. And it shows that there's a strong correlation between histrionic and somatization disorders. Treatment would include psychodynamic therapy, CBT, group and family counseling, as well as medication. Narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, is characterized by a grandiose sense of self-importance, need to be affirmed, and lack of empathy that emerges in early adulthood and is present in a number of situations. Individuals with NPD are boastful and presumptuous and exaggerate their accomplishment to impress others.
Oh boy, Belle's gonna get the surprise of her life, huh, Gaston?
Yep, this is her lucky day. I'd like to thank you all for coming to my wedding. First, I better go in there and propose to the girl. Beautiful. Now, when Belle and I come out that door.
Oh, I know. I strike up the band.
Not yet.
Gaston, what a pleasant surprise.
Isn't it, though? I'm just full of surprises. You know, Belle, there's not a girl in town who wouldn't love to be in your shoes. This is the day... This is the day your dreams come true.
What do you know about my dreams, Gaston?
Plenty. Here, picture this. A rustic hunting lodge, my latest kill roasting on the fire, my little wife massaging my feet, while the little ones play on the floor with the dogs. We'll have 6 or 7.
Dogs?
No, Belle. Strapping boys like me.
Imagine that.
Do you know who that little wife will be?
Let me think.
You, Belle.
Gaston, I'm speechless. I really don't know what to say.
Say you'll marry me.
I'm very sorry, Gaston, but I just don't deserve you.
So, how'd it go?
I'll have Belle for my wife. Make no mistake about that.
Oh, gee.
Causes for narcissistic personality disorder are still unknown. The identified possibilities are oversensitive temperament at birth, excessive praise or excessive criticism by parents or peers, being praised for exceptional looks or abilities by adults, severe emotional abuse in the childhood, learning manipulative behaviors from parents or peers, and using being valued to regulate own self-esteem. Treatment would consist of integrative psychotherapy, CBT, psychodynamic therapy, and psychoanalytic therapy. And cluster C of personality disorders include avoidance, dependent, and obsessive compulsive personality disorders. Avoidant personality disorder is characterized by social inhibition, feelings of inadequacy, and hypersensitivity to negative evaluation that begins by early adulthood and is presented in a variety of contexts. Individuals with avoidant personality disorder avoid contact with others out of fear they may be criticized, rejected, or meet with disapproval. They avoid people as much as possible because if they engage in interaction, the fear of being embarrassed or rejected is too great to confront. The possible causes are biological genetic factors, social factors, diverse experiences and painful experiences in childhood, rejections. It is also shown that individuals with avoidant personalities often have high anxiety levels. Treatment would include psychodynamic therapy, CBT approach, group counseling, family or couple counseling, as well as medication, perhaps anti-anxiety and others. Dependent personality disorder, DBD, is characterized by pervasive excessive need to be taken care of that leads to submissive and clinging behavior and fears of separation. This set of behavior starts in early adulthood and is experienced in a number of settings. The person with DBD experiences great difficulties in making basic decisions such as what to wear, what to eat, and needs strong direction and reassurance from others. Possible causes are over-involvement in intrusive behaviors of others from childhood and during life, social humiliation by others during developmental stages. Treatment would include psychodynamic therapy, CBT approach, group, family and couple counseling, as well as medication. Obsessive compulsive personality disorder, OCPD, is characterized as preoccupation with orderliness, perfectionism, and mental and interpersonal control at the expense of flexibility, openness, and efficiency. The pattern begins by early adulthood and is present in a variety of contexts. Possible causes are childhood trauma, neurological abnormalities, genetic factors, trauma, environmental factors, social and psychological factors. Treatment includes psychotherapy, CBT, and various group counseling like self-help and socializing therapies.